People need to seek asylum. People are fleeing from places of war, famine, deprivation and injustice throughout the world. But unlike Durham Cathedral, who posted guards to welcome the asylum seeker, we now post guards to turn them away. In some cases, we not only abandon them to the angry mob, but we actually put the angry mob on our payroll. The historic notion of sanctuary holds at its heart the concept of hope. Hope based in the belief that human beings, no matter what journey has led them to the present moment, have the potential for a brighter future. This year's theme for the Refugee Council, Restoring Hope, is built on that belief. One of the many myths about refugees is that to be a genuine refugee, you must be poor. The opposite is often the case. When an oppressive regime determines to take control, it will immediately attack the middle classes. It is this stratum of most societies that provide structural stability and the opposition to tyranny. Just because a family can afford to flee does not mean they are not genuine refugees. In fact, it may well indicate that they do have a well-founded fear of persecution. Refugees are above all else people of hope. They hope for a better future characterised by safety, peace and possibilities. They want to live in a society where they can make a significant contribution to the community's prosperity. When the extreme political right in this country wanted to dominate, they adopted a tried and true practice of controlling the middle classes. They didn't turn up with guns and flaming torches to burn our properties. They didn't need to. They turned up with an idea, an insidious virus that affected our hearts and our minds, a lie that our borders were vulnerable, that there were hordes of illegals threatening our shores. But all would be well because they would protect us. Operation Sovereign Borders would keep us safe. And so began a systematic deprivation of information combined with a campaign of political doublespeak. Tragically, enough of Middle Australia bought the lie, and we became exiles in our own land, foreigners in our own political system, refugees in our own culture, and asylum seekers knocking on the door of decency. We must bring the Australian political landscape back to the middle, informed certainly by the left and by the right, but we must regain the middle ground. Middle Australia can no longer accept exile in our own land. Our nation has fallen into the trap of extremism. Our government is committed to control through fear. Decency is seen as treason and compassion as sedition. We are calling the people of Australia to revolution, a revolution against tyranny and fear and oppression. We are asking you to answer the call to civil disobedience by exercising your right to be caring, loving and compassionate, to welcome the stranger, to embrace the rejected, to say no to the government. We will not be complicit in your evil. And so rise up, Middle Australia, and take back our nation from the extremists, so that we may once again hold our head high on the international stage, because we are known as a good people, a decent people, a people unafraid of the stranger, a people wise and confident in who we are, and a people who have always, will now, and always shall oppose tyranny. And so now, may your God bless you. And if you don't have one, may you be a blessing to one another. Thank you so much.
just trying to get some fingers back.
Thanks very much, Brooke, and I'm really glad now because I've got a voice that I can put to those little captions that I see going.